Hi, I'm Gary Ewer. If you want your songs to be listened to years from now, it's probably lyrics that you really want to concentrate on. That's certainly not to say that melody or chords aren't important, of course they are. But if you look at lists of best ever songs um, from almost any era, you're probably looking at a list of songs with the best lyrics. I think that's what's going to give you a legacy, you might say, or have things really go the distance for you. So you probably want to be working on your song lyrics. And so the question is, what makes a good song lyric? I think most of the time, it's not an issue of what you're singing about, but it's your choice of words and how you put those words together that makes a lyric great. So let's take a look at what I think are 5 characteristics of great song lyrics. So characteristic number 1, the lyrics use common everyday words. So in English we have an oral language and we have a written language. And the oral style of language is kind of conversational. It's the kind of way you would speak to a friend. Those are the words that you want to concentrate on using in your song lyrics. It's certainly not to say that poetry doesn't work, sort of more formal style of writing. It's a little trickier. It takes time to make poetry really work nicely in a song lyric. But I think to make a connection to listeners, it's that casual style, that sort of way of using common words and common ways of expressing yourself that are really going to work well in a song lyric. Characteristic number 2, the lyrics move back and forth between being kind of narrative in style and then being sort of emotional. So it's this up and down of emotion in your song lyric that's really going to pull an audience in. If it's all emotional all the time, the song starts to sound a bit whiny and a bit more like a complaining thing. So I think in most song lyrics, you look at the verse will typically be sort of narrative in style. It'll tell you, it'll describe a situation, maybe describe people, perhaps do a bit of storytelling, and then the chorus is where you start to show emotion. You give your reaction, or the singer gives their reaction to the story that's being set up in the verse. So most songs will have this up and down of emotion. The third one would be that a good lyric will create images in the mind of the listener. So imagery is really crucial. I would describe imagery as something simply that with very few words can create very sharp images in the mind. And probably a great example of a song with a good sense of imagery would be the song Fly Me to the Moon, which was a song written in 1954 by Bart Howard. And in that lyric, the first part of the lyric, he says, "Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars." And he keeps using that metaphor of being in outer space to describe his deep devotion for someone else. And that's a great example of imagery where, with just a very few words, he gives a very full picture of his feelings. So you want to look through your lyric and see that you've done that. The fourth important aspect of a good song lyric is that it pairs up well with the melody. And this is more sort of a responsibility, I guess, for the melody than for the lyric. But when you set a lyric, you want to make sure that the melody is honoring the typical rhythm and pulse of the words that you've put in your lyric. So if you think, I think a good example of this would be Paul McCartney's song "Yesterday." When you think of the word yesterday, how we pulse that first, we give the accent to the first syllable, yesterday, and our voice actually goes up a little bit when we say yesterday, da da da, yesterday, and it makes it sound natural. And when words are paired up with the melody in that way, it makes song melodies easier to sing. It makes them easier to remember, which of course is crucial to a song's longevity. And the fifth characteristic of a good song lyric is that you're avoiding cliches. So I think it's an obvious statement to make that we don't overuse cliches in a song lyric, but I will say that if you are using cliches, they'll work better in a chorus than they will in a verse. So if you look at lists of song titles, you'll find that cliche statements probably work a little better there than in a verse. So, the song Addicted to Love, which is sort of a bit of a cliche, works really well as a song title, or, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. These are cliche statements, but actually they work reasonably well as a song title, and can work really well in a chorus, because sometimes when choruses are sort of emotion filled spots of the songs, a cliche can sometimes sort of express that emotion very concisely. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more of them, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can follow me on Twitter as well, @GaryEwer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.